Are you looking to move here to Seattle, or maybe you're already located here and you're looking to buy a house? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over the most popular home type and the most desired so you can get a feel for what is going to work best for you. My name is Sophia Deveaux. I'm a local real estate broker here in Seattle with Deveaux Homes. This channel, we go over exactly what it's like to live here or move here to Seattle. Down below is all my contact information, and there's also a guide on how to buy a single family home here in Seattle. Goes over all the different steps. Make sure to check that out. Let's get started with the video. First, let's go over the most desired home type here in Seattle for buyers, the single family home. Also, I did put on my sunglasses. Thought it'd be fun to shoot a video outside today because it's getting really nice out. It's supposed to be like 70, probably like 75 degrees out right now, and it is super bright. Couldn't even see the camera, so put these on. In Seattle, there are so many incredible architectural home styles. You have Tudors, Craftsman, bungalows, ramblers, traditional, modern, mid-century modern. The list, it just really goes on and on and on for those architectural types. This last year, the median home price in Seattle for a single family home was $1 million, and the average days on market was 6 days. For a single family home, that normally includes an offer review date here in Seattle. So that means essentially that there's a limit on the time of when you can put an offer in. For example, the house will go on the market on Thursday. The broker will put in the comments, place in your offers by this date. Normally it's 5 days away. Maybe they'll say 10 a.m., say by noon. But essentially you have this sense of urgency that you need to place in your offer by that specific date. Now, of course, sometimes no offers go in, which is, it's always interesting to see that in Seattle. It's a little bit of a red flag, but as a buyer, that does give you more leverage if you want to negotiate the price. Now, why is a single family home so desirable here in Seattle? Well, for starters, when you close your eyes and you picture the American dream, or the dream that you've been dreaming of since you were a little kid, you picture a house, picture a yard. That is your property to do whatever the heck you want to do with. And so that is really the reason why it's the most desired home type here in Seattle. Also with that, there's very, very limited inventory of single homes in Seattle because most of the new construction is townhouses or DADUs with a single family home built on the same lot, which I'll go over those for the most popular home types being built. So you can skip ahead if you want to know more about DADUs, townhouses, but that's the reason why it's so desirable. Single family homes, they offer more privacy, more flexibility, but there are higher costs associated with them and more responsibility. The cons include higher upfront costs, higher maintenance costs. Pros include you're easily able to personalize your home. It's your land, your property. Of course, some things require permitting to do, like if you were to build a DADU on your lot of land. But really, it is yours. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. There's normally more privacy, more space with the single family home. You will be building equity faster because going back to what I was saying, there's very limited inventory for single family homes because that's not what's being built for new construction. It's more so the older homes, teardowns, they're getting bought up by developers, being built into townhouses, or maybe there'll be a lot with the single family home, the DADU being sold separately. So very limited inventory for a single family house in Seattle. With single family homes too, if you're on a large lot of land, there's potential to build a DADU. So that could be great if you have family, if you have parents that you want multi-generational living in that detached house, in that guest house, or maybe you want to just rent it out for additional income. Or with a single family home, there could be an ADU, an attached accessory dwelling unit. Maybe it's downstairs, so you potential again stick your parents down there, or to generate more income through a rental. The most popular home type being built in Seattle right now is a townhouse or a DADU. A DADU is a detached accessory dwelling unit, and these two home types are really great if you can't quite afford a single family home, you want to live in a certain location, you want something that's turnkey and really good condition. then these two home types are really awesome for you. Now let's quickly go over the differences between a townhouse and a DADU. So a DADU, a detached accessory dwelling unit, it's also referred to as a backyard cottage. I've seen people call it spite house because it's built on a lot where there's a single family home, and then there's the smaller house, the DADU, detached accessory dwelling unit. And essentially that means that your neighbor built it to spite you. I think it kind of depends on the DADU, but sometimes it does feel that way a little bit. With DADUs, they're often used for, again, what I was saying earlier, multi-generational living, used as an additional income source through renting out, or if you're a homeowner and you build it on your lot of land, you have the potential to sell that DADU, just depending on what's going on with your property. So with new construction, what a developer will do is they will buy a lot of land, then they'll build a single family home on it, a larger home, and then they'll build a smaller home, the DADU, and then they'll sell those two separately. So for most of the new construction, you will see this, or again, you'll just see townhouses. In 2019, Seattle passed regulations that made it much easier for developers or for homeowners to build DADUs on lots of land. A DADU, it's normally around 1,000 square feet. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 to 2 baths. Sometimes you'll see even a 3-bedroom DADU, which is really, really pushing it on the square footage size. They're normally 2 stories. Some will have much bigger yards, some will have a tiny little side yard. I haven't seen one with a rooftop ever. That's really just for townhouses. I know 1,000 square feet sounds really tiny, but sometimes, a lot of the times, a DADU is designed very thoughtfully, and the second level will have vaulted ceilings. It'll make it feel much larger, and some of the finishes can look really good. It depends on the builder, depends on the developer. The average price of a DADU in Seattle is between $750,000 to $950,000, but I have actually seen some up to $1 million. Again, it just really depends on location, what the layout is, what the yard situation going on is there parking, whatnot. That can really affect the price of the DADU. Last year in Seattle, there are more DADUs being built, but townhouses are definitely outpacing them, and I'll go over those right now. So a townhouse is a multi-living dwelling that you normally share a wall with your neighbor. You know, there's a community of townhouses. Sometimes they are detached. The detached style of townhouses are definitely more desirable than the attached. But normally, you share a wall with your neighbor. You maybe have a little yard space, a little patio. You have a rooftop. Sometimes you don't have a rooftop. Sometimes you don't really have a patio, unfortunately. It just really depends on the townhouse. These are being built right now like crazy in Seattle. So many townhouses being built. So the median price for a townhouse in Seattle is $800,000, but this can easily go above $1 million just depending on the size, location, and condition. Townhouses too, when I say multi-level, they'll normally be 3 stories, and unfortunately with a lot of the new construction townhouses, developers are trying to sandwich in as many as they can. So there'll be like 1,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet. They'll have 3 bedrooms, maybe they'll have 2 bedrooms, but it kind of feels like the meme, "My name is Bella Hadid," when you're walking through some of these townhouses. It just really depends on the layout and everything, the location, the size. That's going to determine the price of the townhouse. One of the benefits of having the 3 stories and a rooftop is that you can have some pretty phenomenal views. Also, if you're situated near the water, you could hover maybe above some of the other businesses in the area, the other single family homes, so you just get a clear shot of the Seattle skyline, Mount Rainier, the water. So with the townhouse, some of them can have really awesome views. With the townhouse too, there can be an HOA. Sometimes a townhouse will mimic more of a condo than an actual single family home itself because the dues will be so high, and there'll be CC&Rs. This can happen with larger communities, or even I've seen it with smaller communities too, but the dues could be upwards of $400. It would only take care of all the utilities, the landscaping, maybe it'll cover rooftop maintenance, it'll cover the exterior painting. It just really depends on the community, on the townhouses, and the HOA. So for a townhouse, normally what you will see is that there will be an HOA. This goes with the DADU too, but the dues will be like $25 to $50 a month, and that'll cover the outside landscaping, maintenance of the sprinklers, and then there isn't really any CC&Rs for the property. Sometimes there can be CC&Rs, so make sure if you're looking to buy a townhouse, DADU, to specifically maybe you want to live there and then you want to rent it out eventually when you move out, make sure that there's CC&Rs, that they do allow rentals for the property. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a property with more space, more privacy, more flexibility, and you're okay with the higher costs associated with that, and you can afford this home type, then I would recommend going for a single family home. If you can't quite afford a single family home here in Seattle, but you want to live in a very certain location, trendy neighborhood, let's say Green Lake for example, and you're still looking for something that's detached, not sharing any walls with your neighbors, then I'd recommend going for a DADU or a townhouse, specifically one that's detached. If you don't mind sharing a wall with your neighbors, being in a community setting, then I would say go for a townhouse in Seattle. Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. I know I've been terrible about posting on YouTube. I am gonna do one video per week. It's just been a crazy month with clients. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. I post a lot of home tours there. And again, all my guides, they're down below. And I hope you have a wonderful week.